moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stephenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stephenson, you'll find your light.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to a Collision with Purpose movement. You're watching life-changing conversations to inspire action. Here we challenge you to reflect deeply and take bold steps towards transformation. I am your host, Dr. Laxley Stephenson. In each episode, we uncover the powerful life-defining moments that have shaped the lives of our guests. Ordinary people who have turned adversity into triumph. But this isn't just about their stories. It's about you, our audience. It is about your actions to ignite your purpose and create meaningful change in your life. Today, I am joined by a remarkable guest, Mrs. Juliana Kitenge. Together, we will cut through the noise, tap into your potential, and inspire action. The time for change is now. So let us get started. Let us dive right in. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with an extraordinary woman whose life has been a testament of resilience, faith, and unwavering compassion. Juliana Kitenge is a nurse, a philanthropist, and the founder of An Eagle's Wings, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides vital assistance to families in Africa, the Philippines, and India who are impacted by childhood cancer, while also caring for the elderly and children in poverty. Born and raised in Kenya, Juliana grew up in a world of contrast. Her family had wealth, but she was deeply aware of the struggles of those around her. From a young age, she felt called to help others, a calling that led her to defy expectations. Now, without further ado, let us welcome Juliana to our life-changing conversations. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. So happy to have you here today.
Me too. I'm glad I'm here today.
Wow. Juliana, you have had an interesting life. Can
Yes,
you
I am.
share a little bit about what was it like growing up, those early days in Kenya?
I was born in 1973, so to say. So it was early times in Kenya, and for me, I was born in a well-to-do family. I never lacked for nothing, but I had this curiosity of why people didn't have. Since I was a little girl growing up, my neighbors they didn't have anything. But when I could see us, we have so much and they didn't have, I always ask myself questions. Why don't they have? But nobody could tell me why. It's God's choice. God created them like that. But it was the beginning of a great future for me to do what I do today.
Wow. That question, have you figured out an answer to that question?
No, I'm still figuring out.
You're still in pursuit of that answer?
Yes, because I want to see the end game.
Hmm.
I want to do the maximize potential that I have. I want to serve as much as I can till my eyes go dim.
Wow. That's serious stuff you're talking about there, till your eyes go dim.
Yes.
And that is it, till you can't do anymore. Huh?
Because why are we here? There's so many people in the graves today. Why are we alive? You ask yourself every day life, when you wake up, you're okay. Why did God give you another day? There is a reason, there is a purpose, but you have to find that reason within you and rise up and do what you were brought in this world to do.
Wow. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yes.
What you were brought in this world to do.
Yes.
If you had to describe yourself in one sentence, what would that sentence be?
Just a simple lady, a wife, a mother of one, a nurse by profession, a founder and an entrepreneur, and a woman who is so passionate about serving the less fortunate. And above all, I love God.
Love God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big piece of it all.
Yes. Yes.
Because that question you're still pursuing, that's where you'll find your answer, right?
Yes.
That's where you'll find your answer. It's interesting how we connected.
Yes.
It's interesting. Do you want to share a little bit about how we connected?
I will tell you this. So it's like divine intervention, because I've been wanting to talk about my story 5 years, but I never had the chance to do it. But one time, a friend of mine told me about a friend who is suffering from cancer, Elizabeth. And I told her, Elizabeth, give me a call and we'll talk and see how I can help you. And we had a good talk. And we never talked about you that time. It stayed a long time, and we went on and we were talking about helping people more. And he said, I have a friend of mine in Atlanta. You can connect with him and see how you guys can do stuff together. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got to know you. Later did I know that God had a plan, which I didn't know. Like, he plans our life in a way that we don't even know. Now here I am talking about my story, about the questions that people ask. Why do you do what you do? Why did you come here? Why did you do this and that? And now here I am in your platform talking about it. And I'm grateful for God for that.
Thank you for that answer. And I know Elizabeth is watching. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming on. Thanks, Donna. Thanks for joining us. And anyone out there who's watching, we appreciate you joining us in life-changing conversations to inspire action. And today, my guest is Juliana Kitenge. And I want to make sure I pronounce it the way that it would be pronounced in
Yes, it
Kenya.
is. It is right. Mm-hmm.
Keep it real tonight.
Yes,
Keep
yes.
it real. And I say tonight because it's nighttime in Kenya and it's
Yes,
daytime here
yes,
in the United
yes.
States. So interchangeably, I will use night and day. So, there was a major influence in your life, someone, your grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Samson is his name. And
yes,
he
it is.
played a major role in shaping who you are today. What are some
Yes.
of the most important lessons he taught you that you still live by today?
Yeah, my grandfather, may God continue resting his soul in peace. He died when he was 107 years. He was a man of integrity. He was a noble man. He had a big heart. And he struggled so much to gain the wealth for a family. But when he got rich, he had a heart for the poor. He will give a lot. He will give the church. He will do, everything. He is the first guy who brought the missionaries to Kenya. He will, give them land to build churches and that. But one thing that he used to tell us every year when we meet for Christmas, he would tell us, be kind, be selfless, give unto others who have nothing when you can. Share, learn how to share. And one thing he told me, like, see people for who they are, but not what they can give you.
Wow.
And I ran with that. And that time I remember I was 11 years old when I was, seeing him, one thing he used to do, which was very tremendous for me, he will get these, in Africa, there are so many people walking the streets, they are sick, they have, mental illnesses that they don't have, they're not taken care of. He will get those. They're very schizophrenics that will just beat you off. But he will take them, he will feed them, and they became his friends. When they see him, they are not violent. They will go with him, and that touched my heart. You can touch somebody who is so far gone and reform his soul and become something useful in the society just because of giving her a plate of food. And I ran with that, and I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be my grandfather. I live his legacy even today. I want to make him proud wherever he is. Grandfather, you told me right.
So I think there is your answer. What thing that attracted you to wanting to help
Mm-hmm.
was that lesson you learned about kindness from your grandfather. And
Mm-hmm.
what age did you say he passed again?
He passed away a long time ago, but he was 107 years. God graced him with so many years.
That's what I wanted you to say. He was 107. What was it? 107 years?
107.
Wow. 107 years of giving back.
Yeah.
Giving back. And that was just how he blessed others, and God used him to
Yes.
bless others, kept him so long.
Yes.
So long. That's powerful. Wow. May his soul rest in peace. And
Amen.
his work will never end, by the way, because you are carrying on his work. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, and I am the only one who does what he did in life in my family. And I
Now,
am so proud of him.
we're in Kenya. Can you tell us where in Kenya you're?
I am born in eastern part of Kenya. That is Machakos. People in Nairobi right now, they know Machakos, eastern Kenya, Makueni, those sides of Kenya. Not western, but eastern. Kenya is eastern, western. So I am from eastern Kenya.
From Eastern Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome. We're going to Kenya in June,
So
and
that's so good.
maybe if we get the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
go to where you're from, or I know at some point we
At some
will
point, yeah.
let
Mm-hmm.
that happen, right? You know,
Yes.
Juliana, you had a childhood of contrast, right? And where you experienced seeing injustice very early. You
Yes.
grew up in wealth, however, you were deeply aware of the struggles of the poor.
Yes.
Was there a moment when you truly felt the injustice of that it really touched you, or can you
Yes.
describe that moment?
Yeah. So in our family, there are farms, and those who are in Kenya right now, they know people come, they're casual laborers. People come, they do, casual jobs, they plant, they harvest. But those days, back in the days, when they came to our home, at the end of the day, they would talk from morning to sunset. And at the end of the day, my mom would say, give them a kg of corn, or, in America, they say a pound of corn. And these are neighbors that I knew. They had 4 kids, 5 kids. And I'll tell my mom, how 1 kg the whole day? So my mom would tell me a day by that time was $1 a pay. But then they didn't want the money because it wouldn't buy anything. They would say, just give me food equivalent to the dollar. But my thinking was, okay, that was the pay at that time, but I'm asking my mom, you have more, you can add more. My mom would say, no. Go to the neighbors, everybody's paying the same pay. But it bothered my soul. I never understood, how 5 kids will eat 1 kg of corn. No, nothing. But the mothers will talk during the day. Oh, we just went home and boiled the maize like that and we ate. And I used to feel bad. And, and because nobody was listening in the family, like, no, you can't add more because that will be, tomorrow they won't get anything if you give them 2 kgs today, then tomorrow they will have to farm for free. Then I started stealing. And stealing is what I would say, stealing, because I was taking that maize, that corn without my mom knowing. And I would give to the neighbors. And they became my friends. And every time I'm not there, my mom will say, Juliana, so many friends around here. I don't know how a child will have more friends than the mother. But I was giving them food, these 20, 30 bags of corn. I would just scoop and give them. But it didn't take long because my mom would realize something is going on here. You are eating too much, this food is going down fast. But my brothers and sisters, they knew this, but they never told on me. That's one thing that I don't know why they didn't tell on me. But now my passion for wanting to have my own stuff, my own money, to give as freely as I want, was ignited. And I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be something that people can come for free, like come to me to a clinic. I'll give them whatever they want. I'll buy them food because I have my own money. That is where now my thinking is like, I need to do something. I need to go to college. I need to get money. I need to find a way of helping these people without doing what I was doing at that time. Because at one time, mom will know, and then mom will say, stop, take that one. She can't share the food, So that's what my thinking was. But, I felt like they could have given them more because they had more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are people working on your family's land, and they're making $1 a day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you saw a need.
Mm-hmm.
Secretly.
Yes.
Give them food. And what made you so different from those around you? What is it that made
because
you different?
When you have the heart, it is like the way you see a beggar in the street. Not everybody will look at that beggar or will care what they are doing there. Mm-hmm. But this thing in you tells you just give them something. Oh, you see an homeless man. You something will tell you just buy him lunch or something, And that is something that I didn't understand. What this propels you to do this? But I just felt merciful. I just felt, what if it was me? I would want the same too. What would I do with 5 kids and these casual jobs? So that's the thinking that I had that time. But as little as I was, I didn't understand where the world has these poor people and these rich people, and nobody cares about the other. That's the thing that I had those days, because I was a teenager by then, but I didn't understand these things, until later on, when I started to learn about God and how we created his sovereignty, the rich, the sick, the poor will always be with us, those kind of things that I learned later. They're supposed to be here, but it is whoever has to help them,
It's interesting that you had a major challenge because your family wanted you to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You had other ideas, and it cost you. That decision to become a nurse cost you. How did it feel to fight for your own dreams, even when it meant staying home for 2 years? And you can explain what staying home for 2 years.
Yes. So when I finished high school, our family is a family of teachers. My mom was a teacher, my dad, my sisters are. But I never wanted to pursue that field. I thought just going to a class and teaching a child, that's okay. But there are kids here who need my help. I could see kids dying at home because the mothers did not have any health. They couldn't afford to take a kid to the hospital. And my thinking was, as naive as I was, I'll be a nurse. I'll put up a clinic where they will come for free, and I have to just treat them. That was my thinking. But my mom was like, no, we can get nursing college. You have to go to teaching. But I said no. So the punishment was, you stay home for 2 years, but within these 2 years, then I'll change my mind. I've stayed home long enough, so just go to teaching school, teaching college. But I was determined. Mom, I want to go to nursing school, and I'm not taking anything else. So after 2 years, the neighbors, my mom friends were like, why is your daughter home? It's been 2 years. My daughter wants to go to nursing school, but I'm honored to go for teaching. And the friends would say, just take her to whatever she wants. And that's how I ended up in nursing school. After 2 years, my sisters had already gone to college, and I didn't care. I was just doing jobs at home, because I felt frustrated. You feel, it's your dream being shattered. Like, this is what I want. It's like me telling you, eat this food, but you don't want to eat that food, but just eat it. You see? So that's how I felt. My mom is shoveling my the teaching job to me, but I don't want that. But I want in a mode of like defiance. I don't care. If I stay home, I don't care, Mom. I will stay here and get old, get married, and I'll figure things out when I get married. I'll go to college then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
From then till now, you're still...
Yes, from then till now, I came to America and I became a nurse, and I do what I love.
Do what you love. So I just want to acknowledge comments here from Philip White, my boss, Juliana, more grace, woman of God. The lives you have touched over here are overwhelming. You have a big heart. May God take you to higher levels. That's your...
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think this is a good time to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about your daring move.
Yes.
To come to the United States. And so let's take a quick break and we'll come back.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in the steps declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. Yeah, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I write His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor and I write His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Because I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
All right, welcome back to Life-Changing Conversations to Inspire Action. And today, my guest is Juliana Kitenge, and she is inspiring actions. Welcome back, Juliana.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to talk about the daring move you made to come to America. And
yes.
Can you share with us how all that transpired, how that happened?
How that happened? Okay, in short, I will say, okay. So when I became a nurse, I was working in one hospital in Nairobi. And I was working in the outpatient, they call it in Africa, but here is the emergency room. And in Africa, when you go to the hospital those days, you have to buy a card, like a page where they will write your, prescriptions, your conditions and stuff like that. So these mothers will come with their kids, malnourished, diarrheaing, convulsions, and they have no card. And they will sit there a whole day. And I ask the mother, do you have money? You buy the card. They will say, I don't have anything, mom. And I just felt so bad. So what I used to do, I will filter them, whoever doesn't need that. I will just buy their cards, maybe 10 of them, 15 of them. And I'll buy them the cards. And went on, and they will tell each other, if you don't have anything, you don't worry, there's a lady there. She sits in this office. You can go and she will help you. And now it ended up that I used to use all my pay. I was getting paid $50 a month. That is very little, equivalent to 6,000 Kenyan shillings, which was very little by that time, or which was a lot of money by then. And I used to use all the money that I had. And one day I remember my husband telling me, I need you to pay something because I have one thing to do. And I was just like, I don't have money. I said, I don't have money. I said, what do you mean you don't have money? I said, I was just murmuring. Oh, there was this woman, she was struggling with this and the kid was dying and I paid this, And my husband never said a word. He just said, you're going to give, how are we going to live if you're just giving all the money out? And right then I realized, I'm going to lose my marriage because every day I'm giving. But I couldn't stop, Dr. Laxley. I couldn't stop. The following month, I have no money. And one day I was driving home and I told God, take me somewhere. I don't know where. I hear people go to America. I hear people go to United Kingdom. I hear South Africa, Take me somewhere where I love enough for my family and more for your people. And who is God? I am walking in the streets of Nairobi. I will never forget Tomboya Street, the ones who are working from Kenya right now. And I see a magazine written, Live and Work in America. And I buy that magazine. And that is the beginning of my life to come here. Divine connections, God planning everything for me because of that one thing I said. Give me more for your people. Not for my own needs, but for your people.
Wow.
And here I am today because of that one word that I spoke to God. Because I wanted to protect my family because, yeah, for sure, if you're earning money and you're just wasting it, your husband will not understand what are you doing because we don't all have the same calling. But for me to prepare for that, I knew God was somewhere. I knew he was listening. I knew he would see what I was doing. And lo and behold, that was the key. It had everything. It had how you're going to get here, what you're going to do, how you're going to start working, how you're going to start your Social Security. In the back of the page, it had go and apply in this place. And I remember going to my husband telling him, oh, I got this thing. We can apply for green card. He asked me, Juliana, do you know how many people apply for those things? Millions of people. Do you think Juliana's name will be picked up? And I told him, I have this intuition in me that this is it. God wants me to do this. Reluctantly, we went, applied for the green card, and we got it. And now the journey became preparing myself to come here. But everything that you do positive and you do to people, there's always a downside of everything. And I remember I had a friend who the mail was coming through, and when the mail came for me to start preparing, my friend threw it away. But who is God? I started having these dreams. On August, I will never forget 2004. It is showing me, Juliana, you're supposed to go to the embassy September 25th. And I dream again, September 20th. And I tell my husband, something is not right. I'm dreaming like we're supposed to go to the embassy. Say, you're always, you have anxiety. You wait. They will send a thing. And the third time the dream came. And I went to a booth, like this phone booth, and I'm calling, Kentucky Consular, please. My name is Juliana. I was talking so fast. Now I talk so slowly a little bit. But the British English, the lady would say, slow down. My name is Juliana, and I think I'm supposed to go to the embassy. And she said, yes, ma'am, we have sent you a mail to this address and it's been signed for. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And then she said, I am going to send something in the mail. You go to the embassy. And that's what happened. I got it. I printed from my email and I went to the embassy and I got my visa. Later on, I asked my friend whether she got the thing and she said yes, but I got jealousy and I tore it apart. And I told him the door that God opens, no man can shut. He can send angels to do anything because that is the door that he had paved for me to do his work.
Wow. And that door continues to open wider and
Yes, yes, wider than wider. And let me tell you the funny thing. My family lives here. We are all the Moses family, they live here. We are blessed too because we were well-to-do. We are 30 of us from the same family here in Indiana. But God did not use either of them so that nobody takes the glory. I'm the one who brought you here, or I created the path to you to come to America. I came on my own ways, God's terms.
So you had family living here?
Yes, I had
Oh,
family. My uncles, they came here in 1973, and they have been here since then. I was a little girl when they came here. I was a year old. But God never used them. He used his own ways, his own means, because he doesn't like sharing his glory with anybody. He doesn't want to see, you see how she's going? It's me who brought her here.
And you saw that ad in the paper.
Yes.
And you did the foolish thing, because who would apply? Who would, just like your husband said, thousands of people will apply, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't listen.
But I had this, the intuition in you, like, this is it. I think this is it.
Wow. And guess what? It was it.
It is. It was it. And the journey begins. The journey begins. And my husband, I got a visa, and God wanted my husband to stay back in Kenya because I knew he would be the stumbling block of whatever God had planned in his own ways.
And talking about your husband, right? That's a story in itself.
Yeah.
But one of deep commitment.
Mm-hmm.
When you first met him, he had little,
yes,
financially, but yet you chose him.
Yes, because there's power in the words that we speak. And when I was growing up, I used to say, I want to get married to somebody who has nothing, so I can experience what it is to lack, what it is to struggle. I was just saying these things casually. I never knew that. And my husband is an engineer. He was working in an hospital that time, a hospital engineer that time. And the school that I went to college, that's where I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him through a friend, a mutual friend. Let me tell you the funny story. God is I don't know how God works. So my dad had a friend who was his age. The father was a friend, and he said, oh, my daughter is going to college in this place. And that guy was the head of the department. And I get there, and he's taking care of me, and he starts to be my friend. And then he introduced me to my husband. And one time, the guy could not take me for dinner or something, and he took my husband. I said, Julius, go with him. Go with Juliana. I'll be coming there later. But it was all God planned, because we went there, and we sat there, and he started talking about his life and, his struggles of life and how, it's always good to be resilient. He's a very smart guy. As long as you have brains, you can do anything. You have to be tough. You have to fight. You have to, And then he gave me a story of his family. He was the firstborn, no mother, no father, raising 5 siblings.
Mm.
The day I went to their home, there's nowhere to sleep. We could go and go back home. I've never seen poverty like that. You couldn't even cook because the kids are so many, you cook one pot. I could cook because I can't cook the food. It's too, big pots, But I was happy. I enjoyed it, And that is the bad decision I made for my life, because my husband today is my pillar. He is my everything. He is my, he tells me you can do this. He supports me wherever I go. I travel around the world. He would drop me in the airport. He would get me back. And people will ask me, Juliana, do your husband think you can go be doing other things out there? No, because he knows who he married, and I know where we have come from nothing to where we are today. But I embraced the experience and I loved it because now I knew how it is to stay without food, to want for money but you can't have it, to want so little money and you have all these responsibilities, but still you are smiling, but still you are happy. And it's nothing. You just live a life as it comes, one day at a time.
You know, it is so interesting that most women want to marry into a situation that is going to be secure financially and uplift them in a certain way, right? You, because of what you're drawn to and because of the work you're drawn to, you had to experience certain things.
Yes.
And you chose to marry because you wanted to know what it was like.
Yes.
To know what it was like to live like the people that would become the purpose of your life, to serve them.
And because I wanted to relate.
Yeah, you want to relate.
Yes, I wanted to know when somebody tells me, Juliana, I have no food today. I know what it is. Juliana, I have only one dress that I wear on Sunday. The rest of the days, I just wash it at night and sleep. I can know what it is because I saw it firsthand.
Not only you walk and talk, you have to walk in that same space.
Yes. And it is something that drives you, a force that you don't understand. Because who wants that? Who wants to go live a poor life when you know you had a better life? It's something that the passion is like, it ignites. It's like it lights and you get a goal. Something is driving you to these things, to preparing you for what you are planned to do, you know?
And life was not always a smooth walk for you. You had a child. That is a situation there. If you want to talk about that.
Yes. So the first time, I get married, a good wedding, big wedding and everything. And like everybody, every woman, I wanted my firstborn. But I had a premature labor at 6 months and my child was preemie and she was born in a hospital that was not, well equipped because I was traveling and all of a sudden I started having labor pains. And for me, I thought, I had bled so much. I thought, the child had died. But when I pushed the child out, the child cried. The little baby, like maybe, I don't know, an inch or, And we had an incubator there and, they tried to, save her, but she couldn't. They couldn't. So the baby died. And I was devastated, I was devastated. But what I've learned in life, things always happen for a reason. And for what I've learned, I don't complain when adversity comes my way. It is God preparing you to the next glory, or rather to the things to toughen you off, to face these things so that one day there will be somebody who will ask you what did you do when this came to you? And you can tell them. You fight. I know I was depressed for a while. I felt bad, but I had to rise up and look for the future because that is that. But I gotta rise up. God will give me another child, or if He doesn't give me any, then something else will come. I will adopt a child or something. But as a woman, you know how we feel. And when you're married, people look at you. Oh, she can't have babies or whatever. You have all this going around your mind. So all the time you want your own, even if you adopt one. And later on, I wanted to get another. I told God, give me back my girl because I wanted a girl child, and I got Sandra now. Yeah.
Let's talk about Sandra. You brought her name up. Let's talk about Sandra. Tell us about Sandra.
Sandra is brilliant. She's in college right now. She's majoring in biochemistry. And she is a kid who steals my soul. She's like me. She's passionate about things. And she reminds me of my resilience of life. So back in 2016, she was 13 years old. Child was well healthy, nothing going on with her. And one day I get a call from the school nurse. Come quickly, your child is not feeling good. And my heart sank because she said that the pass rate was going to over 200. And as a nurse, you're like, something is very off. And that day, I remember my husband, he travels a lot. He was here. And we went there, and my child is there saying, Mom, I don't know, Mom, what's going on. And we went to the doctor. The doctor tried to listen to our lungs, and he said, I can't hear anything. I can't hear any sounds. And she said, you have to go to the emergency room. And we go to the emergency room, and they get an X-ray and CT scan, I think. And they said, your daughter's lungs are full of water. And there's a tumor sitting on top of her heart. That's why the pulse rate is going so high. But they didn't tell us what was going on. You know the way you go to the hospital with something bad, the nurses will come in and out, and the doctor will come and they will ask, are you Sandra's mom? Are you Sandra's dad? The doctor will see you shortly. And we stayed there for a long time, and the doctor came and said, I'm sorry, Juliana, your daughter has cancer. Mm-hmm. When you hear that word, cancer, it doesn't matter, Dr. Laxley, out of your heart sinks. Oh, what comes in your mind is death sentence. Oh, what comes in your heart is years of struggle and stress. And I'll tell you, from that day, me and my husband, we got confused. It's like the mind switches. You're not thinking straight. And they said you can't even drive out to the hospital. They had to uplift her to another hospital. And on the way, my daughter is calling me, Mom, where are you guys? They're putting me on oxygen. I can't breathe. I don't want to die. You can imagine your own child, yelling for you. We are driving, me and my husband. One thing she always reminds me, when you talk about my story, talk about this. I come home, and I'm trying, it was Indianapolis, I'm trying to get a few clothes because we don't know when we're going to come back home. And I get a suitcase, and I am putting shoes. I put all shoes. I went to our room, I got shoes. My husband, we are putting shoes in a suitcase, all shoes, Dr. Laxley. I didn't know how. We get to the hospital, and my daughter said, I need to change. And I opened the suitcase. It's all shoes. She said, Mom, what did you do? I said, what happened? They're all shoes. And I said, oh, I think I didn't know what I was doing. So we had to go to Walmart, here, and buy clothes. But that starts the journey to fight cancer. Mm-hmm. That starts the journey for us to live a life of fear. Is he going to die? Is he going to live? What is the doctor saying? Is is our medication responding? But I tell you this, during that time, I taught God these two things. If it's your will for my daughter to live, I'm grateful for giving my child for 13 years. Mm. And if it's your will, God, heal my daughter. But if it's not your will, Father, take her home. I don't want her to suffer. And those are the two prayers that I prayed when I was in the hospital, because I couldn't pray, I couldn't read the word, I couldn't do anything. And here's my daughter, they drained 5 liters of water from her lungs. And now she started breathing well. And now you know how it goes. They do the biopsy, and they couldn't touch that. They couldn't operate because it's so close to the heart. And they started giving her then chemotherapy. It was, large lymphoma, large BCL, mediastinal lymphoma. And the journey begins. I'm sitting there day after day with my husband. We quit working. We just stayed by our side. Mm-hmm. And right in there, I heard like a voice say, it's about time. Go help my children. And when my daughter was not even healed, I started now the foundation. I started helping the kids who have cancer. Mm. I started thinking about, I had all I needed, good doctors, scans, everything was paid for. I thought about a child in Kenya who doesn't have even food. And here comes a doctor. You can give chemotherapy without checking where the blood draw, where the counts at. They need scans. These people cannot afford it. And I thought about that. And let me tell you, God opened the door. Here to get people to help is hard. In Kenya, they would think, oh, you are a scammer or wherever you want their photos. I called my sister one time and I said, go to Kenyatta Hospital. It's an hospital in Kenya. And I need you to get me kids who are poor. She got me 40 kids. And the hospital, they had signed, oh, this one. And now we started the journey. Mm-hmm. But the bad part, all those kids died, 40 of them. Because they go to the hospitals when the cancer is stage 4, metastasized everywhere. The doctor wants this, they can't afford it. So what do? They go back. They sit and they wait for death.
You know, all through your life, you've been tested.
Yes.
But you've faced every single test and just ready to welcome whatever the outcome.
Yes.
Because you've always seen value in the outcome and how you can use it, even when it's at the cost of losing your daughter. Your first one you lost and the second one.
Mm-hmm.
However, the outcome for the second one was very different for Sandra.
Yes.
And now she's in college.
Yes, and that was 2016. Now she's in college. And I tell you this, the day she stepped out of that hospital, 2016 June, she has never gone back.
Never gone back.
She has never had side effects.
Cancer is gone.
Forever.
Forever.
This has been 8 years.
Wow.
Since that time.
And what a powerful testimony.
And God will show me dreams. I tell God, you gotta show me a sign. You gotta show me something that she's gonna be okay. And I'll tell you this one thing. God will show me the kinds of, the hair fell off. And she will bring me dreams of Sandra graduating college. And there's a lady who came to me to tell me, Juliana, we need to talk to Sandra. If she goes, then she goes where she's going to go. And I say, my daughter is not dying. Because some people are very insensitive when people are experiencing some, illnesses. And they will tell you sorts of things. Oh, she's going to die. Nobody survives cancer and all that kind of things. It's very inhumane. It's like, don't say anything. And I told her loudly, my daughter is not going to die. And we started this journey, and I would document the dreams that God will give me. My daughter's hair will come out calcate, like curled up. And the lady could see. And at the end of the day, when Sandra got healed, she said, Juliana, pray for me. I want your faith. And I did pray for that woman today. She talks about that story and how she came to know Christ because of my resilience and the faith that I had in God.
And it's also interesting that Sandra wants you to tell her story, because it's her story as well.
Yes. And one day she would tell our story. Because, the trauma of cancer, and now she's healing in a way that she would, she was very young that time. 13 is she's just a little kid, not knowing what's going on with her life.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Amazing. I think we should take a break. What you've just shared with us is so powerful. But before we go on break, I want to acknowledge Mrs. Marsha Martin. She's joined us. She said, awesome move of God as always. Sitawa Kisiangani Elizabeth says, hugs, Julie. And she says that cancer is tough. And, of course, she's beating cancer. She's fighting cancer, and is a tough one as well. So you're a brave woman who's really out there doing it. She's the reason why we are talking today.
Yes.
She led us to.
Yes.
So big up, Sitawa Elizabeth. It's always good to see you on the platform. All right, so let's take another break. And again, I'm going to play Bold Kid because it reminds me so much of who you are.
Okay.
I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection, and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor, and I let His word blessing come out of my mouth, because I know to whom I belong. I am bold for Christ, Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Life-Changing Conversations that Inspire Action. And today, my guest, Juliana Kitenge, is inspiring actions. Did I get the name right?
Yes, yes.
That's so important to me. I wanted to say it like they say it back home in Kenya. All right, so we've been talking about Sandra, about you growing up in Kenya and how you had to face adversity every step of the way, and your choices and your decisions, and most of your decisions was always to experience life in a way that you have not experienced it before, because you thought it was so important to live it.
Yes.
And know what it's about.
Yes.
Which also empowered you and strengthened you to go out and do the work, because now you know what people are actually dealing with. And that's such an interesting but powerful move that you made. But now let's talk about the birth of On Eagle's Wings, Inc. But that's a big piece of what you do.
Yes.
Talk to us about that. How did that come about?
So during that, though, the thing is, when I get to America, settling in a new place is hard. And it took me a very long time to go back now to what I had told God I'm going to do. And God has a way of waking you up. God has a way of like, it's about time. I didn't bring you here for this and that and that. You kind of settling in life. I'm going to do it after some time. I can start next year. But during that time of central sickness, then I had all the time because I didn't work. And I said, oh man, I said, what if God is trying to tell me, I got this. God, do what I called you to do. And that is the time I started, the nonprofit. And I got people who came and helped me to draft the bylaws, to build the websites, without me having to ask for it. I have people who know this is how you draft it. They draft the bylaws for me. I applied to the government here and everything. And everything went so smoothly that when I knew God was in this, God was in the planning, God was in the purpose. But the thing that I take about Sandra is this is what he wanted me to do. But without an experience of what you're going through, I would just say, oh, I wouldn't have a connection. But I have a connection with cancer things, and I have a connection with the feeling, the fear, the agony, the fear of death even. Every time I hear my daughter cough right now, I was, oh, are you okay? Is it back? Is it coming a secondary cancer? Because the doctor will tell you, oh, some of these medications we give, they may bring secondary cancer, so you gotta be very aware of what's going around you. But how do we overcome that fear? I had to overcome it, and I had to fight and start helping people who are so more hopeless than I am. People out there who doesn't have any, social circles where you go vent like here, or I usually tell people the poor always relate with the poor, the middle class with the middle class, the rich, the rich. So who they discuss about their issues around their circles, which of the poor, they have nothing. They just borrow each other. Do you have anything I can eat today or whatever like that? So I wanted to be their shoulder to lean on. I wanted to be their place where they can come and cry. I wanted to hear their story and know how I can help them better. And so that's how this organization was born. But after I lost the 40 kids, I went into a grieving mode because I had bonded with these kids. I had hope that these kids would be okay. But they all died. I had questioned God, why? You called me to do this. You showed me these signs you're going to be with me. But they all died. But I realized you don't ask God questions. He's sovereign. He does whatever he does whenever he wants to. And I went to a grieving mode for 2 years. I could not talk about cancer. I could not do anything to do with cancer. Now I switched to feeding the people, the kids. I didn't want to talk about cancer anymore. I was in a grieving mode about cancer. It devastated me, and I felt bad because these kids were, they look healthy today, tomorrow they are dead, you know. So now, starting last year, I started now wanting to go back to my, I have kids in Uganda that I help, secretly. Nobody knows them, but now I've started now to want to revive. I've healed, so to say. My grief has passed on. Like now, I don't think about it in a bad way, And it's about time I fight. It's about time I speak to them. It's about time I get them the resources that they may need. If we can save one child, then that's my joy.
If you can save one child,
One child, one,
then
that is my dream. And all I ask for God to provide for me is resources that I'm able to pay these bills they can get scans, they can get all these things. But we are getting there one day at a time.
I'm going to share the link to your website, and you can talk to us some more about the organization and how anyone who's listening can support your work. This is worth supporting. So I'm sharing the link in there right now. Yes, it's posted. So if you're watching us, if you'll watch the replay, please, and if you're so inclined and you feel like supporting, you can go to the website, and I've posted the link in the chat, in the comments section. So this is an organization that is deserving of your support. This organization is doing work not just in Kenya, it's in Uganda, it's in India, and you're also doing work in the Philippines.
Yes, in the Philippines, yes.
And so you are doing work on many continents.
Yes. Yeah. You go through all the world and preach the good news and help the people.
To help the people. Let me play a video of you in action. Your work in action, okay? I'll play another video, then you can talk about them, okay? Wow. Talk to us. What did we just watch there?
So this crowd of kids, these are poor kids. They're in Kenya. And these are kids that eat barely a meal a day. And for me, I have a thing for kids. They are in these situations by no fault of their own. They don't know why they were born poor. They don't ask questions, but they just go with emotions. Today there's no food, they sleep. So when I found, one of my volunteers was watching today when he told me about these kids, we started feeding them. And lo and behold, they come, they eat, they want to eat every day. They just a meal a day to them. They're looking forward for that day that we are feeding them. And I started this we are in Turkana, we are in Kitale, and we feed others in India. But people are suffering. You fast without you wanting to fast because there's no food. What are you going to do? At 8-year-old, 10-year-old, they wake up, there's no breakfast, there's no lunch, there's no dinner. But that one meal that they know, this week we are eating, they look forward for that. Just a plate of food. So I feed so many of them. They are over 500. There are another place. There is another one in Uganda that I feed. And I look at them like they didn't know. They have no reason why we are poor. Why don't I have? But if I can save them and I can feed them for as long as I live, then I will. And I pray that one day, as when I go on to, leave this world, somebody else will take over and do the same.
Just like your grandfather.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
I pray that you get to 100.
Yeah. And then these other ones, those are kids, as smart as you see them. They are kids struggling with cancer, different kinds of cancer.
Mhm.
I've been with them since 20. Some of them have died along the way, but I have around 20 of them in Uganda that I support.
20 in Uganda.
Yeah. And there are so many. I just take a few because I can't take all of them. So I just choose the worst ones so that I can, support them mainly. Because a doctor tells you, go feed your child good nutrition.
Mm.
You can't afford the food. What do? The kid, no nutrition, no money to go to the hospital, no money for scans, nothing. So these kids, they sit home and wait for the day they die.
It's interesting that you say they're forced fasting. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's forced fasting. That's
In
an
London.
that's an interesting perspective, right?
Yeah.
Forced. Again, let me acknowledge Esther Okiochi. I don't know if I have the pronunciation right. We love you, Juliana. You are a great woman of God. Thank you for being there for us. We have Dr. Garfield McCook, my co-host and one of my other podcasts, Bridging Generations. He said, interesting that irrespective of where we live in this world, we all share a common denominator. We're
That's
human.
true. Mhm.
We all feel joy and we all feel pain. God's blessing to you, Juliana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, quite a story here. It's unfolding in this conversation and life-changing conversations to inspire action. Again, my guest is Juliana Kitenge, and we are talking about life.
Mhm.
We're talking about life, and much of what we're talking about today is cancer.
Mhm.
Cancer. So, when a child that you're helping doesn't survive, and I know you lost a few, how do you process that grief?
It's hard because these kids, when you have a heart, they become your own. And for me, it's like reliving that pain of cancer again and again and again.
Mm.
Because I've been there, but though I've not lost my child, I relive it. The fear that I feared has come to one of my kids.
Mm.
And it is something that you can relate. And, every day a kid is passing on because of cancer. I feel worse. It's a day that I can't do anything. I just sit there and just think about it. And, you question, could I have done something better? What can I do better? What other programs can I introduce? Maybe awareness, maybe, I don't know, screening. Those are things that come in mind that we can get them in earlier when the cancer is not metastasized. Those are things that now I think about. What can we do? Now, where do I get the resources for these things? Those are things that apart from what I'm doing now, I need resources that I'm able to travel or get people who can do these things for us, So those are things, but it's a grief that is relentless. Like it's always on you. And every time I hear, oh, he's in the hospital, he's not doing well, and tomorrow say, so-and-so has passed on. Then you just feel bad. You're human. You want them to live. That is why the core purpose of what I do. I want to support them. I want them to live. I want them to be a testimony of what, serving the humanity can do, But at the end of the day, it's called sovereignty. If some live, others die. We have no control of that. Yeah.
That is the brutal reality.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing you cannot control is life.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Now, where do you see Eagle's Wings expanding to next? You're doing work in Africa, you are in Philippines and India. Can you expand anymore? Where else can you go?
I always tell people where he leads me, I will go because he will provide. And this is my philosophy, or rather what I use. A little milk in every house.
Say that again.
A little milk in every house.
Mm.
If I can give Kenya a little milk, Uganda a little milk, India a little milk, Philippines a little milk, then everybody, we are all one people.
Yeah, I'd love to see you go to the other side of the world, onto Jamaica, and give a little milk too.
Maybe this is what it is, you know. So for me, I just like people to know it's not your people who can help you. It's not only Kenyans who can help Kenyans. I'm sitting in America and I'm all over the world. When I go to Philippines, they wonder, she's here, she's from Kenya, and she comes to help us. And let me tell you, I inspire people. They start helping me, and courtesy of Oningo's Wings, they start helping their own people. And that makes me so happy because I'm just igniting the fire and I get out.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Just start the fire, right?
Yeah, I ignite
Others
it.
will take.
They get their passions up. And for me, I always go to oversee what they are doing on the ground now
Yes, yes, indeed.
because they want support their own because I kind of motivated them. You are African. You are in Philippines. You are in India. You know.
I'm gonna hit. This is a very personal question. What kind of support are you getting from Kenyans in America?
I'll be honest with you. Nothing.
You're not getting support from Kenyans in America.
No, the support that I get are people who really don't know me, but they love what I do. Not from friends, not from anybody that I know, but people who watch and connect with what I do.
Mm.
And more so, I'll attribute to God supplying all the needs of his people through me.
You are a nurse
Yes.
and you work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
You work to put food on your table.
Yes.
What percentage of your salary are you committing and donating to your work?
50%. 50%. We go, me and God, we share half and half.
Mm.
If I had today $1,000, $500 will go to the poor.
Mm.
Because I never wanted to tell a child struggling with cancer, there is no money, I'm waiting for the donors. I wanted there to be money all the time for them. And I prayed God to touch my husband that he won't say, so what do you work for? God blessed me with that prayer that he accepted me to do that.
What a great decision you made
I
back
had
in.
no other choice because you know, Dr. Lex, you have to, oh, I have no funds. And I sacrifice that. But I love it because my wells never run dry. You can never outgive God.
Mm.
You can never. He will give you until he surprises you. Because it's from the heart, not from the doing. I never lack for nothing. Every time. I will surprise you. Yesterday, 2 days ago, somebody, had a need, not cancer stuff. And I said, whatever you have, you can give it to me. And I gave that person $500. Today, this morning, I get a check, $500, exactly the money that I rented that person for my organization. Because $500 every week is what is for the organization. I give that money, I push it there in case I use a little and say I'll refund it. But what God wants from us is the will to do it. Don't worry about where money will come from. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Because this is something that is not benefiting you, it is benefiting the people. We don't get money to buy cars, build houses. I tell God, it's for your children. And He always will touch someone somewhere who I have never met, who I don't know. And he will send money for the need, for the missions. Like now, I plan to go to Kenya. I need to raise 5,000. It comes. I need to go to Philippines like in April. The money is already there for it. I do the budget. God, I need $4,000. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but I have faith you're gonna provide, and He does.
It will be there.
It will be there because it is. You can never outgive God. You can never compete with Him. He will show you great and mighty things that you'll be surprised, because it is for His children.
And your work is mandatory.
Yes.
It must be done. And now let's change up things a little. I'm going to have this segment where I call quick fire fun questions. We've been talking about serious stuff, but let's change it up.
Okay.
If you could swap lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and why?
Oprah Winfrey.
Why?
Because for me, he has showed me you can become anything you want in this world if you have the resilience, the fire, and the will to do what you want to do. Nothing can stop you.
And she's done it.
She has inspired so many women, so many people.
All right.
Yeah. She came from nothing to what she is now.
Man, color purple. Great stuff. All right. What is the weirdest food combo you secretly love?
The weirdest one?
The weirdest food combination that you secretly love?
Rice and meat.
Okay. Rice and meat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you what kind of meat. All right. If you had to be stuck in one decade forever, which one would you choose and why?
In the heart with the poor, to serve them for eternity, if that could be possible.
All right. If your life had a theme song, what song would you be playing every time you walk into a room?
Tomorrow will be a better day. Keep on the hope.
All right. Tomorrow will be a better day because it will. Today is your best day, but tomorrow will be a better day.
Yes.
Always. All right. Awesome. Well, man, time go by so fast. We're running out of time. But, I want you to get as close as you can get to the camera. I want you to look in the camera and speak to one person and say thank you to that person for what they've done for you personally. You can call a name.
Okay. The one person, first of all, my mom and dad, for giving me education.
That's two. All right, we'll take it as one.
Bringing me to this world, teaching me the hard way of life, and later on, believing in my dreams. Yeah.
Wow. Moms and dad, we're gonna join you together and make
both of them, both of my dad and mom. They are my. What you're doing is powerful. What you're doing.
Wow.
Later in life, they value what I do and it motivates them.
Awesome. Can you share their names with us?
The names of my parents?
Yes, please.
My dad is Thomas Morrison. My mom is Monica Thomas.
Awesome. Thomas and Monica.
And then I can add my husband.
Okay.
He has been my pillar, my everything. He's my, what do we call it? Test check. If I have to do something, what do you think about this budget? You analyze that. What do you think if I go to Kenya, if I do this? He has been there for me. And I thank him for giving me the privilege to do what I love doing and supporting my passion.
Wow. And the world saying thank you to him.
And his name is Julius Kimoyo.
Julius. Thank you, Julius. Appreciate you. And thanks for what you do and for the support that you provide to Juliana so she can go out there and do what she enjoyed doing.
Yes.
what she's good at as well.
Yes.
So, Juliana, is there, if this is an opportunity for you to add anything else that you'd like to add before we go? I know we didn't cover your story.
Yeah, we will do it another time. And this is what I tell people out there. You know, everybody has something in their heart that they would love. If I had this, I would do this. If I have this, I would do this. I urge them to rise up and do what you love. You don't have, we are all not called to do help people, humanity and stuff. There are other things because these things are interconnected. I need somebody who can do my my website for my organization. Service to humanity is all interconnected. I can be the donor. There's somebody on the ground doing the ant work, and me, I'm here organizing everything. So people are out there saying, I wish if I had money, I could start one person at a time, one thing at a time. And you'll be surprised when you open that door. Support will come from all directions because it is for the good of the people. So my fellow Kenyans, if you're watching, my fellow Americans, if you're watching, find the purpose in your heart. Just ignite it one day at a time. And how could it be all of us singing the same thing with different passions? The world could be a better place for all of us. So thank you so much for hosting me, and thank you for listening and who will listen later. May God bless you all.
Wow. Well, Juliana, I just want to say thank you, not just for being here today, but for the work you do. But that's more important than being here on this platform.
Yes.
The lives that you have touched and the heart that you have shared with us on this platform today. Your story is one of deep sacrifice, unwavering faith, and a relentless commitment to lifting others up.
Thank you.
You have experienced pain, but you have taken your pain and turned it into a purpose.
Yes.
That's changing lives. And that is nothing short of extraordinary.
Yes.
You know, hearing your journey from that little girl growing up in Kenya, taking things off the family's farm and giving it away. From then you knew that your life was not about you, but it was meant to help and serve others. To you, leading on Eagle's Wings Inc., it's all a reminder to all of us that purpose isn't found in comfort, but in the moments where we choose to step forward, even when it's difficult. And in your case, you made sure you experienced difficulties because you wanted to understand it better.
Yes.
You are living proof that love, faith, and perseverance can truly move mountains.
Yes.
And so to everyone listening, it is my hope that Juliana's story has inspired you as much as it has inspired me. If her words stirred something in your heart, the most important thing, and I think that's what Juliana was just saying, don't let it stop there. Do something. Take action. Step up, show up, and be that person who's going to make a difference in the world.
Yes.
Give, and you don't have to have a lot to give.
Yes.
Yeah, just give a portion of what you have. Even if you're denying yourself sometime, it's okay. Because too often we find that we are overindulging in things that we don't need anyway. And can give more, right? So you should be a source of kindness to others. Because when you're kind to others, you're also kind to yourself.
Yes.
That is a way of showing kindness to, So again, thank you for your wisdom, Juliana, and for showing us what it means to live with purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah. And to anyone listening or will listen to this broadcast, keep seeking, keep believing, and keep having those life-changing conversations with yourself and others. So until next time, I say stay inspired and live a life of impact. Juliana,
Thank you.
you stay behind a second, okay?
Okay.
I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. Yeah, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my